And we're live! All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Not Quite Novelist. This is the show where new friends are made, literally, and new worlds are built live on the spot each and every episode. My name is Savannah. If you don't know who I am, how the hell did you get here? Tell me, because I really want to know. And with me today, I am so excited for this guest. I've been fangirling for weeks over this. Is Candace the Magnificent. Hi, Candace. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday. All right. Before we get started, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and give our special thank you to All City Print, our sponsor for the stream. That is going to be... Why is this not working? The freaking Streamlabs is not working for some reason, and I don't know why.
Oh, no.
You know what? I will figure that out another day.
It does what it wants.
Yeah, it worked at some point. I don't know why it's not working this time, but, you know, it will get figured out. But just moving on from that, All City Print. All City Print is the sponsor for Not Quite Novelist. They are your one-stop print shop. They have literally everything. If you need something embroidered, if you need t-shirts, if you need tote bags, stickers, any kind of merch you can think of. This is my favorite thing to show off is my Not Quite Novelist journal that they custom engraved for me.
Wow.
Yeah, Not Quite Novelist. This is my, branded official journal. All City Print they literally have everything, and if you're someone who has merch, has a brand, is an artist, and you really want to know exactly who it is that is printing your merch, you want to really have that relationship with a person who's getting their little mitts all over your t-shirts, call All City Print and make sure to use promo code Not Quite Novelists to get a free order of 50 stickers with your design on it with your first order. So, yeah. You know what I will do? I will just go ahead and pop in All City Print's website because apparently that's the best way to do that. If Streamlabs isn't going to work for me. Let's do that. All right. Sweet. And with all that being said, let's get started. So Candace, I kind of gave you a short little rundown of how we do this. Mm-hmm. Basically, I have these two cute little teacups here, and they both have a bunch of slips of paper in them. One of them has themes, and one of them has tones. And I'm just gonna draw one out from each, and we get to make our characters. We get to kind of build a world from there and see what happens.
Awesome.
Yes. Oh, I'm already excited. This is my favorite thing is I'm not gonna tell you until I put it up on the screen. You just get to live in that suspense for a little bit. Give me 1 second. This is gonna be so fun. I'm so excited for this. And there we go. I don't know how to type.
I'm watching it on my phone, locked in.
Yep. Yeah, locked in. There we go. Oop. Hold on. the theme for some reason likes to be really difficult on OBS. Let me fix that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so our theme is Angels and Demons, and our tone is Mafia. And I am stoked because I love mobster stories. I love Mafia stories. This is gonna be so much fun. Yeah. I'm such a fan of doing like mobster, mafia, anything. I've got I have one friend that like I have like a lot of private just text RPs with. He was my guest last week. So after stream, go watch it on YouTube because it's really fun. But one of my favorite, like one of our original RPs that we did was like a 1920s mobster, mob wife kind of story. It was a lot of fun. And I think
Nice.
Angels and Demons could be a lot of fun with this. Because I'm imagining, like, first thought right off the bat is like gangster Romeo and Juliet kind of energy.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
two lovers, star-crossed.
Yeah.
The maybe the angel. It's giving Hell of a Boss a little bit, honestly.
Yes.
Where you've got the two parties, the two camps, and then one person or two people that are kind of locked in the middle of that battle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I love Hell of a Boss so much. Yeah, so I'm thinking like, you know, in terms of like mobster mafia, I feel like it's a little too like obvious if we did like, oh, the demons are like the mob family or the mob bosses while the angels are like the, you know, the FBI, celestial FBI kind of thing, you know?
I like them as rivals, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking. I think the angels are more like another mob family. Like they're another ones. But they paint themselves to be like, oh, you don't want to be like, you don't want to work for the demons. We're the good guys. You know, we're the as long as you're like loyal to us, we're on the side of good.
I've been watching a lot of Daredevil lately.
Yes.
So the vibe I'm getting here is the angels directive is we take care of our community, so look the other way. And I feel like the demons are we take care of our own, so look the other way.
Yes. I love that so much. I think that's perfect. So I think like I'm trying to decide like, is this a world like, is this the regular like human world? Like, is this like a modern society, but they are run by the two like angels and demons family? Or is this just a world where it's like it's a fantasy world, we know that there's like angels and demons? Or is this like the angels and demons are like hiding the fact that they're kind of like Good Omens energy, where it's like there's still the mortal world, you
that
know?
one.
Good Omens kind of,
yeah, like people can see them and interact with them. They don't realize that the stakes are quite so high.
Yeah.
Like they think the stakes are like regular mob stakes where it's like people are gonna get shot, some people might die, but it's actually like a genuine battle that is like that defies reality.
Yeah, not just like a person could get shot, but it is like, no, a city could get leveled kind of energy. Yeah, I love this. Oh my gosh, this is great. I love how I can never escape big world-ending stakes, no matter where I go. That's every story I am a part of or write has some sort of like world-ending celestial stakes to it. But you know, it's more fun that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love this so much. So in these streams, there's no structure. I try to make some sort of structure, but it doesn't work. Sometimes I'm like, okay, do we want to build like the world out, or do we want to just start with like our characters and then build out from there? I kind of want to start with like, okay, who's our character in this? Like let's say if this was like a game, like who would you want to play in this? Like what kind of character in which family would you want to be?
Good question. I think I'd want to be the face of the angel organization.
Okay. Yeah.
There's definitely like a big boss, like Godfather style, but I'm the first lieutenant who happens to have been his mall. Like I was
Ooh.
the lady that he was dating, and then I showed him that I am more than what he thought I was valuable for, and they were like, "Okay, fine, no contest.
Yep.
You go ahead and be my blade." Essentially,
Yep.
she is
Yep.
way more cold-hearted and ruthless than the average person in the
Okay, I'm in love with
organization.
her. I already love her so much. I love that because I definitely wanted to be like, I want to be something in like the demon family or someone on like the demon side. Because in everything I'm always playing like cute little fairy princess kind of girl. I'm like, no, let me
Mhm.
just be a badass. Let me just be someone who's like slashing throats and not giving a fuck about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like just this like I feel like the way she like looks, she loves to just interact and live like a normal human life, but she's this like grunge punk, like lives in like this shitty like studio apartment kind of thing, and just like kind of lives her life, but she is almost like a freelancer for the demons.
Okay.
Like I think she's like a freelancer, like a what am I thinking? Like a hitman. She's like a freelancer. Like she's the intimidation. She's like the muscle. You know.
Okay.
She'll go
Mhm.
and like meet up with people. She'll find people at like their jobs. She's like a bounty hunter basically for like the demon side. It's like,
Awesome.
oh, someone didn't like pay their dues. Someone didn't like finish a job that we needed. Let's send this chick out. I think that's kind of her energy here. So I think maybe she's like trying to decide like how she got the job. Like maybe
Mhm.
she was someone who was caught by like a different bounty hunter, and like she like took them out and they realized, "Oh, she's stronger than we think she is." And so they
Mhm.
found her and they're like, "Okay, we're not here to like catch you and collect on the bounty. We're here to offer you a job because you
Nice.
killed our other bounty hunter. So we
Yeah,
want you to replace him." I think that's her job here.
that's solid.
Yeah. So now how would our characters know each other? Like how do we think?
If you're the muscle, I imagine you would know me because I'm the person who orders the goons. So like
Mm,
anytime that there's like a meeting of the families,
yeah.
you see me at the head of the table. Occasionally like
Yeah.
God will show up, but you are probably also like toward the right-hand side of the person, Lucifer or whoever rules your family.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. I like that.
Mhm.
How deep into like the Christian like mythology do we want to get into? Do we want to go straight up like hell of a boss, like do all of the canonical, angels and demons that we've got here? Do we want to do kind of make up our own like thought and not pantheon, but like do we want to make up our own like mythos here? How deep into the Christian lore should we get with this one?
I'm a reformed Catholic, so
Yep.
I play fast and loose with Christianity.
Yeah. I
I
grew
have
up
a
uh I grew up Christian in Texas, so I get it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with either. I've named my person Serafina Hosanna.
Ooh,
So
beautiful.
she's definitely steeped in that
Yeah.
Catholicism, Christian stuff.
You were
But
really
I'm
quick
cool
to
to go
name that
outside.
character. That is the part every episode I've had so far, that is the part that like takes us the longest, is like how do you like my favorite thing to ask people is like what's your naming process? How do you name your characters usually? So
Oh,
now I'm
yeah.
curious,
So
how was that process just now? Because that was quick.
of course, yeah. So I knew that I wanted them to have a feminine name, something that was going to be beautiful.
Mm,
And a seraphim is an angel, like it's literally an angel. So I was like Serafina for sure, and then
yeah,
Hosanna in the highest is a song that I used to love singing in church.
that's
So I
beautiful.
was like, Hosanna is like a symbol of like God or God's love. So I was like,
Yeah,
that's good. She should
I
have a
like that.
very innocuous name, right,
Yeah,
for the nefarious deeds that she pulls off.
yeah, I love it. That's cool.
Thank
See,
you.
now I'm trying to think. Okay, now like that was Oh, you were so quick with that, and I'm so impressed because that is not something
Thank
that's
you.
been like a thing every episode I've had where it's like, okay, how do we name our characters? And then immediately both of us are like, huh, interesting, you know, like both of us are like, well, let me think about that now. Yeah, but I love that thought process of how you named it because all of my characters I like go specifically for like how do you name them? I go for like what does it mean? Like think of like a name
Hmm.
meaning something. And now I'm thinking I kind of want my girl to have a more like gender neutral name,
Hmm.
something that's a little more that naming was so quick. Yeah, Aurora, I'm also incredibly impressed. That was very quick. Um, but I'm thinking like I kind of want to give her a more like not necessarily masculine, but more like gender neutral or like masculine leaning name.
Hmm.
And then if she's a muscle, part of me wants to go for like a name that means part of me wants to go for something that you can relate to like a hellhound. So
Mm.
like something that means dog or something that is more like canine in nature, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like that could let's see. Now I'm just going to look up like give me demon sounding names or give me names that mean dog.
Sirius is a good name that means dog. It's the dog star.
Sirius. Oh, my Harry Potter loving
Hmm.
heart. I love it. Yep. I mean, yeah, that makes the most sense. And then, okay, what if her name is Sirius, but she goes by Siri?
Cute.
Yeah, I think Siri is
Very into
cute.
that.
I
Hmm.
love it. Yep. Okay, cool. So we have that name. And I think she's someone, I don't think there's a last name. I think it's just first name, you don't need anything else because I think she's someone who it's like, with her job, she needs as little identifying features as possible. So I think like yeah, just the first name and like a nickname and like that's it for her.
Hmm.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is cool. So how would we ever meet? Like is this something cuz I'm a sucker for shipping. I'm a sucker for like I'm going to have my characters want to kiss every single one of my guests' characters every single time. I talked about this with cuz last week my our theme was fairies and our tone was rom com, which I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's perfect. But immediately I was like, so when do they kiss? Like that's my. I am such a sucker for romance and fiction. So like, do we want to go that route of doing like almost like a sapphic Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, or do we want to do like just very like protector kind of energy? Like one of them is like I feel like the idea is like one of them is like secretly very protective over the other one.
I think both of those are good options. And I think that the catalyst could be that one of us wants to leave. Like one of us wants to defect
Ooh.
and wants to
Yeah.
get the other one to safety.
Yeah.
Would you want to leave your job or are you satisfied with where you're at?
I think that I think that I wouldn't know that I want to leave. I think that I have like been in this position of like I was in a shitty position before
Hmm.
and this job has offered me like a safety that I didn't know was a thing that I could have.
Hmm.
And now it's like, well, now I don't want to leave. But once the option is presented to me of something even better than that, of like, oh, maybe I do. Maybe this isn't as safe and as like protected and comfortable as I thought it was because now I'm the bounty hunter. Now I'm the one who's like going and putting myself in this like line of fire because I'm chasing down all these, you know, defects, all these guys that are trying to like, pull one over. So, yeah, I think it would be if Serafina, if you were the one who wants to leave and you would present that option to Siri, she'd be like, well, no, I don't. Wait. Okay, maybe I do want to go. Like it would be kind of a
Okay.
realization of like my lifestyle is not as good as I thought it was. So
Yeah.
I love this. Aurora says there's always a conflict of wanting that other to change, but both love their jobs too much. Ooh, I kind of like that. Like they both value their own families and their own like jobs, their own positions, but they want the other one to come onto like their side. I think that could be interesting because that could be like a mutual, like teaching each other the flaws in their own systems kind of thing.
Okay.
Of like maybe you want me to like go and join like the angels because it's more, that's like the quote unquote good side, whereas I want you to come and join the demons because that's more of a that's the side that's more free, that's less structured and rigid. But we both kind of point out the flaws in each other's systems so much that we're like, oh, maybe we should both get out of here, kind of thing. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun already. I love it. So now I'm curious, what does Seraphina look like?
Seraphina is very dark-skinned femme, very full-bodied, very, very feminine figure, lots and lots of curves. Definitely on, I'd say, the thicker side, but still like statuesque. Like if you imagine like the height and the curves of Megan Thee Stallion, but just more of it.
You want to hear a fun fact about Megan Thee Stallion?
Yes.
I went to and graduated high school with her.
Oh, damn, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, we were in classes together. She's really nice. She was really cool.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear she's actually a nice person because she seems nice. Like with celebrities, I'm always like, you seem nice, but what if you're a creep? They're all creeps, aren't they, eventually?
So this was so funny. This is a weird thing that happened to me. Was like I was scrolling through Instagram and I found like a meme page that posted a reel that was a video of her from hye school that I remember seeing in high school. And I was like
live.
Yeah, it was so like in my high school we used to have a Friday like news program that the AV club would like film and record and then edit and do all this during the week. And then Fridays during homeroom we would have like the school news program where it would talk about like upcoming football games, what are who our like rivals are, stuff like standardized testing, things like that. Well, during our Spirit Week, there was one year, I think it was junior year, we used to have Nerd Day, and they got rid of Nerd Day. And, yeah, and so everyone would dress up as, like, the, classic cartoon nerds, big glasses, the, like, pocket protectors. We loved it. Even, like, the nerdy kids loved it. We thought it was so fun and silly. That was one day they replaced it with something else, and, so one thing was like they like went around and interviewed students on like how they feel about it, and I remember seeing this during the news program, which was she goes, "This is racist against nerds. This is discrimination." And she just said it with her whole chest. It was so funny. So yeah, I was like a while ago I was like scrolling through reels and I saw that clip pull up. I was like, oh. She meant it too. It was so funny. Yeah, she was awesome. Really, really sweet. Our school had like such a strict dress code, so I would always express myself with like big, colorful, crazy makeup, and she was always someone who would be like, "Hey, that looks really cool." So my biggest flex is Megan Thee Stallion used to compliment me in high school.
That's a huge flex, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, maximum flex.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I tell people when I have a conversation. It's like, "Hi, I'm Savannah. I went to school with Megan Thee Stallion."
Nothing wrong with that being your calling card, honestly. Yeah.
I want to go to one of my high school reunions just so I can tell everybody. So, like, do you tell everyone that we went to school with her? Because I tell everyone.
You're going to get there, there's just going to be, like, a standee of her so that you can take a picture like she's there.
Yeah, exactly. Because she is absolutely too famous and important to come to our high school reunion. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, so, yes, I love this so much. I'm already in love with Seraphina so much. So that was great. So you said her name and it was like a trigger word for me. I was like, I have to tell this story.
Yeah, she looks just like that. Probably deeper skin tone than Megan. But black features. Very, very kind of like a mix of like bohemian and alternative fashion.
Ooh.
So like shaved sides, very long kind of waist length hair in twists, like kinky curly hair in twists, with
Yes.
like little pieces of jewelry, like golden jewelry, kind of hanging in them. Lots of little like bits of golden jewelry all over, and
Beautiful.
almost always wears shades of like white and off white and cream. Very heavenly
Ooh.
looking. Because she's tall, is usually in flats. Doesn't usually wear like high heels or anything like that.
Yeah.
And when you see her, the outfit is sort of a mix of like femme and masculine pieces. So she might have like a men's like blazer that has like the shoulder pads in it, but then paired with like a pencil skirt.
Ooh.
Or she might be wearing like a vest and like a little like chain pocket watch situation with like a button down shirt, but then like little like short pants with it with like a tall sock or something like
Cute.
that.
I
Very,
love that.
yeah, like alt corporate.
Yeah, alt corporate is a great way to describe that. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I love that. I can picture that so vividly now too. Uh, the hair thing is beautiful to me. I have so, like I almost went to cosmetology school to do hair, and I'm
Hmm.
like, I specifically want to go to learn how to do textured hair, to learn how to do black
Yeah.
people's hair because it's so pretty to me.
Thank you.
I'm like, if I can't wear it, I want to help other people do it. You
Hell
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so hard to find a hairdresser, honestly.
That's good to know.
I
I
do
might,
I do my own hair for that very reason.
if I ever
When
go
I
back to
can find
school,
someone,
maybe.
yeah, it's like big money if you find someone who can do your hair,
Good to
most of
know.
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a really like I there's a braider on TikTok and Instagram that I love to watch because her reactions to people when they come in to get their hair done is so funny. Because she'll but like just watching her is like I learn a lot about like how the hair is kept up, and I was like, this is
Hmm.
so interesting to me. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think so. Does Seraphina have like an angelic form and a human form, or does she like maintain looking more human?
I think she probably can transform. I don't think that she really wields it because it's not something that she wants to like put on Front Street.
Yeah.
But like in interrogations, for example, sometimes she does appear as a biblically accurate angel.
Yes.
I think in her angelic form, she has like a mix of white, gray, and black feathers with
Ooh.
like a gold, like a big gold eye at the center, and then lots of little eyes around it.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Mm.
fun. I love that. I now that I kind of made Siri more like hellhoundish, I feel like I kind of want to make her like a werewolf.
Okay.
Like yeah, so her like demon form is a hellhound. So it's this like big massive black dog with like pitch black eyes that look more like voids.
Mhm.
I think that is kind of her like demonic form, but her human form, the and this is kind of the form that she like takes on the most because yeah, same thing of like she doesn't really need to turn into a hellhound unless it's
Mhm.
necessary, but it's rarely necessary because I feel like she's scary enough like in her human form, but she's one of those like short girls are the scariest kind of thing. So she's like shorter, but she wears like the stomper combat boots.
Okay. Mhm.
Um, I think she very like 2010s Tumblr grunge, you know,
Okay.
like short shorts with fishnets and like a massive flannel that's like a 3x when she's like kind of thin, and she's like I feel like pale, but like if you were looking at her in certain lights, it is almost grayscale. Like she doesn't have that much color to a point where it's like almost uncanny valley ish, where it's like
Mhm.
I don't think a person is supposed to be that pale. But I think she has like she does like a mohawk style, like her hair is like shaved on both sides, and
Mhm.
when it's put up into a mohawk, it's almost got what's that show, the girl from Vikings, where it's like kind of braided on each side to keep it
Mhm.
up in this like kind of mohawk style, but
Yeah.
then it's pulled into like a cool like single braid down the back. I think it
Mhm.
goes to like maybe like her mid back just to like her shoulder blades.
Cute.
um and I think it's like it's jet black, but she loves to dye like different strands of it, like sometimes it's red, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's so she'll change up the colors sometimes. So
Mhm.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that is Siri. This is so cool. Okay.
Masterpiece.
Yeah. So now, whew. we've got so much like already built here. Like I love this idea. So how do we think our characters actually met and started talking to each other in terms of like I think I think the way that they would have met was like there was like a meeting and it the first time they met was like there was a meeting and Siri saw Serafina and was just like, damn. Was immediately attracted to her, but was like, no, wait, I need to be tough. I need to be like, I can't show.
Yeah, she did not look at you.
Yeah.
But in her mind was like, I have a soft spot. I really like werewolves. They're fucking cute.
Yeah.
You shouldn't like werewolves, but you do.
Mm-hmm.
You read all of those werewolf fics, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be cute too if like the follow up to that is we're both out at like a queer night hanging out with our respective friend groups
Yeah.
and then see each other there.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
like
yeah,
I love the confirmation of this person I noticed is in the same queer ass room with me. Like that hits very different than I just saw you out, right?
Yeah. I think Siri would. Do you think Siri would be the first to approach Serafina, or do you think Serafina would approach Siri? Because I feel like
It depends. Are you staring at her?
I think so. My opinion of this would be if it's like, the angels are like, oh, they have a little bit more like rules in terms of like decorum and structure and like knowing your like place within the community because the point is to take care of the community. Mm-hmm. Whereas the demons are much more like if you were to go into like the beliefs of like the satanic temple and things like that, it's like it's much more make your own choices, it's much more free. Mm-hmm. We take care of each other, but it is much more like do whatever you want. I feel like Siri would be the one to immediately, like as soon as they clock each other, she is across the bar, like she is across the room and it's just like, so what are you drinking? Yeah.
Okay.
Just very she has to her heart is beating so fast, but she's like, I'm going to like use my bounty hunter, like have to be very confident in myself kind of energy, even though I feel like I'm gonna throw up right now.
I love that. That's super cute.
So precious. Yeah, but is very much like I love this idea too of her being like Serafina being super tall, but Siri being this like short little girl who's just like, hey, let me buy you a drink, like looks up at her.
Yeah, I love a short queen.
Yep. I love the dynamic of the short one being the more like dominant one. The short one being the one who is like, I'm gonna like take control in the relationship kind of thing. That idea is really fun for me.
Yeah, that's really cute.
I love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So I already love them. I just want to play them now. Like that's
This is sweet.
This is the hard part about doing this stream is every single episode I end up with being like, I just want to play these characters now. I just want to be them. I can already see the like Siri cosplay in my head right now. Like that's I see the outfit. It's so good. So let's do some like world building outside of that then. Like, what do we think the main? I mean, we know that there's like obviously going to be like tension between like the angels and the demons here. What do we think like there's like a main conflict or a main like thing currently that is causing the tension other than just in general we don't like each other?
I wonder if it's like a fight for technology, like a fight over technology, because technology is like a truly neutral kind of thing, right? It's not inherently evil or good. It's like both at the same time.
Yeah.
So I feel like as technology rises, both parties stand to lose followers, right? Like it's easier for us to spread our like holy word, but it's also easier for y'all to spread like internet addiction, right? And the things that you'll market to like keep your like your businesses, like our respective businesses going.
I also kind of like the idea of so not to bring too much like Castleton into this, but that's my life. But like I like the idea that was in Castleton of like, well, the gods didn't have that much actual sway, like because they didn't, they just kind of made the humans and said go. I think the idea of like the more powerful humans in this world, like the, the Bezos, the Elons, that kind of thing in this world are like, because humans are gonna speculate, like religious people are gonna say, oh, this person is like, being swayed by the devil. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
neither side has their hand in that. There's just
No.
also happens to be powerful humans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like human greed still exists,
Yep.
but that has nothing to do with like actually like being swayed or told to do something or controlled by either party here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Lucifer. I love that show so much. But it is literally, it is like a cop drama where Lucifer comes to Earth and he becomes like a police consultant. So he starts like solving crimes with this detective,
Mm-hmm.
and he says something, I think, in the first season that is really really like poignant, and I think it would make sense in this story too a lot, which is, uh, I I punish the evil. I don't control them. I don't celebrate it,
Yeah.
The people who are going to hell are not having a good time.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, I think that's a smart like assertion there, like for this,
yeah.
because like individual action is different than the people who mete out the rewards or the punishments. And I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at, is like,
Yeah.
because you can be good and still selfish, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can be super evil and still help people.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no like black and white there, and I think that that's like where both of our parties kind of are trying to assert power, is like,
Yeah.
especially like in a boots on the ground kind of way too, like in a community or in a large city.
Yeah.
I see this as being more of like a smaller scale battle. Like um, maybe there's like facets, like factions of this
Ooh.
and representatives like in different locations,
Yeah.
right? And this is just one. This might be the main hub. Like if it's New York, New York is the
Yeah.
hub of like America, so maybe it's like the main hub, but there are like, we have networks in all major
Yes.
cities.
Yeah. So I think
Hmm.
like in that case, I think like we would have like heads in every like faction. So
Hmm.
like maybe like God and Lucifer wouldn't come to here unless it was like something cataclysmic, something like world
Right.
ending. But we would have like a head angel and a head demon that is our station, that's our faction.
Hmm.
And so we both kind of work for like, we're like third in line. Like we're like we work for the people who work directly under like the big guys.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
a chief of staff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Not
so
the
yes,
president, not the vice president, the chief of staff. That's
yep,
like the mouth and the face,
exactly.
kind of.
And so we
Hmm.
know, like, oh, if we hear Lucifer is coming, oh, shit is way bigger than we think it is. Or,
Right.
like, oh, God is in New York. Oh, crap. Like, oh no. Like, and that kind of makes both parties, like, panic for different reasons, but
Hmm.
still panic. Like, something is
Everybody's
happening.
like checking their phones, like, is
Yeah,
Beyonce in town?
yeah,
Why?
exactly. Yeah,
What are they doing here?
exactly. That very much, again, like in Castleton, it's like the moment like the gods showed up. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
this is a lot bigger than just a matching season. So yeah,
Hmm.
I love this idea. This is cool. So I think there's like, yes, it's tense and we don't really like each other, but we have to work together in order to maintain general normalcy, because like the wicked people go to hell, so we take care of that, whereas
Hmm.
the good and the just go to heaven, so the angels take care of that. I think it's more
Hmm.
like, it's honestly, I feel like it's based on, and the tension itself like finds itself rooted in the belief of whether or not human beings are inherently good or inherently bad, like whether or not humans can be redeemed, right? So
Hmm.
maybe one side has like this idea of, yes, human beings can be, um, you know, can be good and can be redeemed, and therefore everybody deserves to like get into one spot. Whereas the other one is like, okay, no, because humans are inherently like the belief of humans are inherently selfish or humans are
Mm-hmm.
inherently going to be greedy, as evidenced by like the billionaires that we're not controlling, you know? Like they just
Mm-hmm.
do their greedy thing. So, oh, I love that. This is interesting. This is really because this is diving into a lot of like deeper overall philosophy that I was not expecting us to get into, but I like that. You can't really escape it when you have a story about angels and demons, though. To be honest, like
Very true. Very
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Hard to avoid.
You know what? I love. Okay, so now I want to kind of think about if we're doing world building. I want to think about like the structure of heaven versus the structure of hell. Um, there is a series on TikTok of this girl that I absolutely love. That she runs the help desk, but it's HELLP desk. I don't know if you've seen this, but
No, that sounds
it
cute though.
it is such a fun story because what it does is like the way that she's like structured this story is that it is literally like a desk at hell where people who die and go to hell have to go to know like what level they're going to. And then each level has of course their own varying like punishments. But the
Mm-hmm.
first like two levels are like intensive therapy basically. And like
Cute.
but the people who go to those two levels have the option to reincarnate if they feel like they've gone through this like therapy enough that they
Mm-hmm.
can get that second chance of possibly going to a different like paradise.
Oh, that's so funny.
Um,
I'm writing a comic right now that has that as a theme. It's not the
really,
exact same thing, but it's
yeah.
it's something similar to that. Yeah.
Okay? If I find this series, then I think I remember the name of it, but when I find this user, I'll send her or I'll send you the
Thank
series
you.
because it's so bingeable too because they're TikToks, right? So they're
Mhm.
but the characters that she's created are like, there's the main like girl who runs the help desk is the character's name is Lily, and she like died of cancer.
Mhm.
But she runs the desk, and then there's another girl named Penny who died as like a 17-year-old or something. And instead of just going to hell or finding a paradise, it's like, no, I have a job now. I work at the help desk.
Mhm.
Um, she's also included like brought in like demons as characters, and the demons, one of them gets married to Lily, and so it's so good. It's so fun because the attitudes and the way she acts, because it's just her in different costumes.
Mhm.
The story is so like rich, and it does. There are some episodes that cover some like darker topics, because we're
Mhm.
dealing with dead people who are not good
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
um, but it has a good perfect like blend of like being really funny and being really like, okay, let's talk about like some real philosophy here in terms of like what should be getting people to this like eternal punishment place versus this eternal paradise. It's really cool. But the
Oh,
the
sounds
idea of like,
amazing.
yeah, right? And that's so
Mhm.
I think if we want to incorporate like, I think having like a structure like that and incorporating this philosophy of like one side believes that humans are inherently bad whereas the other believes that humans are inherently good.
Mhm.
I think we should adopt almost like, because you brought up Hell of a Boss, I think we should adopt like the Has Been Hotel philosophy where it was like the angels are the ones who think that people can't really be redeemed and they should just, if they're going to hell, they're going to hell.
Mhm.
Whereas the demons are the ones who are like, we set up a whole structure where they have therapy, like, and they can like
Mhm.
heal from shit that they did and went through. And
Mhm.
I think that that would be really, really cool and really interesting, especially if like when we meet and if we're trying to get each other to like see the flaws in our system and like
Mhm.
move to each other. I think that could lead to some really interesting conversations.
Yeah. Into it.
I love this. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I knew as soon as I saw Mafia, I was like, I'm gonna be word vomiting this whole stream. I'm like, I'm not gonna shut up this whole episode because I'm so excited. I love mob stories. So, okay, so now I'm thinking, who do you think the big guy is? If it's not like God, who do you think? Sorry, I got distracted. Finn, the one who I had last week, the one who I have all the RPs with, just immediately is screaming in chat, Mafia! Hyphen, yes. We're doing a Mafia story. To sum it up, here's what we've created so far. We've got Sirius, aka Siri, who is a werewolf hellhound, works as like a bounty hunter, like muscle for the big demon mafiosos in let's say New York. I feel like that would be the best. That's the best spot to like put a story like this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense to me. And so she's the like grunge punk kind of. Yeah, brother. I'm sorry, I can't look at chat. That's too funny. But so she's like the grunge punk chick who is more so the one who like tries to go after the people who are trying to pull one over on our big demon mafioso. If you want to describe Serafina, go for it.
Oh, yeah, sure. So Serafina was the mall. She was the person that the big boss saw and was like, that's my new girlfriend. And they were like, sure, but I'm more than the sum of my parts. And became kind of the right hand, the chief of staff of Heaven. They are probably about 5'10", I'd say, very statuesque, very full figure, very curvaceous. They have shaved sides, and she has like long waist-length twists in her kinky curly hair that are accentuated by a lot of gold jewelry. She wears a lot of gold jewelry as well. Her outfits tend to be like corporate punk, like corporate alt fashion, in shades of like white and gold. And she typically wears nothing but flats because she's so tall and she's kind of like self-conscious about how big she is and how much space she takes up. She can turn into a biblically accurate angel, but chooses not to unless under extreme duress or trying to frighten the fuck out of somebody.
Yep. Meanwhile, Siri, similar thing. Siri will love to, or she can turn into her hellhound form, which is large, I think jet black, wolfish type of dog with eyes that almost look like voids, but will glow when she is trying to be that like kind of omen to whoever she's going after. But she's about I'll say she's about my height. She's about 5'2", but she wears those like stomper combat boots. And she is definitely the short girl who is terrifying because she's so compact you can't hold all of that rage in her. And then so my favorite part of the story is, and then they kiss. They meet during one meeting between the two head honchos. Don't make eye contact though, until not that long later when they're both at the same queer night at their favorite club in the city. And immediately Siri is the one who approaches Serafina and says, so, what are you drinking? I love that. This is so good. We've created so much, like, and it's only been like an hour. I love these times because we've got these streams. Generally, I try and make the episodes like 2 hours long. But there are some days where it's like, let's just start spouting out ideas, and we come up with like so much world building in just it's less than an hour, and we're doing great.
Killing it.
Gosh. Yeah, I love it. We're doing a great job. So, I'm trying to think if there's like, how bad do we want like the main like conflict? How bad or how serious do we want the like main conflict at hand to be? Because it could just be like, oh, like they meet and then maybe they start like meeting up in private, meeting up in secret with each other. But both sides, like, tensions start getting worse and worse and worse. They're like, oh, something is building up here. Something is, like, worse than... And they kind of, like, I feel like they kind of, like, feed each other information. But not in, like, a shady way. It's more just, like, oh, well, when we're hanging out or when we're, like, you know, on our little secret dates, we talk about, like, oh, how was your day at work kind of thing. And we're kind of, like, accidental double agents for each other.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But I feel like there could be, I feel like it's like not so, like, obviously their relationship could not be so, like, you know, it's not all, like, soft and happy romantic rainbows. I feel like there is a lot of, like, fighting and arguing and,
Mm-hmm.
like, tension, but in this very, like, it is tense and it is passionate and it is, I'm fighting with you because I care about you, like, this hard. And
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, we fight and then we fuck and then everything's fine. Like, it's just, we actually, like, are trying to communicate and we have
Mm-hmm.
such different values that we can't. Um, but I feel um, there would be, I feel like the first time, like, one of the first arguments is, like, one of us tries and points out, like, there's a flaw in your logic. Like, how can you believe that humans are, like, how can you believe that this person that I took is inherently bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I believe, like, I just send them to, like, a therapy level or something. Um, and it turns into, I love this happening in chat right now. That's so cute. I looked over and I was like, oh, adorable. Oh, so good. Um, yeah, so I think, like, maybe the first time they fight, um, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but, like, the first
Yeah.
time they fight, like, one of them is pointing out, like, how can you believe that? And so then they don't see each other for a bit and they come back together and Seraphine is like, oh, you, like, had a point there. Like, I did some research in this person's background,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just looking at the initial, like, thing that they were being punished for. I didn't look at their whole life before that. And
Yeah.
that, like, both of us slowly kind of opening our eyes to, like, demons and the, like, demonic side of things brings out the more inherently, like, selfish and
Mm-hmm.
like, debased, kind of, like, greedy, these more sinful natures in humans.
Mm-hmm.
So can you really blame the angels for believing that demons have a heavier
They're
hand than they
irredeemable.
do, or
Yeah.
that, like, can you blame them for believing that the demons or that the humans are bad when the demons are encouraging bad choices,
Right.
right? But then,
I think
Siri's argument is, like, we're not encouraging bad choices, we're encouraging free choice.
right.
But there's a
I
flaw in
think
that
that
too.
yeah, I think that that's something that I think is what keeps them together as a couple. Because you'd think that these two people are like way too different to be able
Yeah.
to like coexist like that. But I think the push and pull comes from things like that, right? Like the altruism that the unexpected altruism that Siri has of no, reform is possible. And Seraphina's like, there's some people you just can't change,
Yeah.
right? Some
Yeah.
people have come back a million times. Like Seraphina might be like, look at this Musk person. This is the third time that he's
Oh,
come back,
yeah.
and he just
This
keeps
is
getting worse and worse, right? Like,
every
look at this Musk.
incarnation is horrible. Yeah. Oh no.
Right. He keeps saying he's going to learn his lesson, and he never does. Oh,
Yeah.
he did one nice thing. That's great. Did you see what he did with the submarine with the children? Yeah, he built a submarine to save people. You're like, yeah, but like he was an asshole about it the entire time, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I feel like those are the kinds of conversations that like keep them up late at night. Like there are
Yeah.
going to be some days where like it's all like love and romance and sweetness and
Mhm.
like, oh, you're just so smart. No, you're smart. Oh, you're so tough. No, you're tough. But then some days it's probably like, I cannot believe that you are so misguided. I am
Yeah. Yeah.
disappointed with you and everything about you.
How are
Get out
you
of
this
my sight.
blind?
I
You
can't
can't be
believe this.
you can't be this hot and this stupid. Like this.
Literally.
I love
Literally.
it so much. Oh,
Yes.
that's so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's definitely, I feel like, the draw from between each other. Like, that's it. I feel like the fighting between them is what, like, draws them even closer to each other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that, like, I feel like Sari is someone who, like, she loves and encourages, like, passion. If you are passionate about something, if you are, like,
Mm-hmm.
show that much, like, excitement and, like, conviction and belief in something, even if it's something that she doesn't believe in herself, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that fire. I want to see that, like, passion. I want to see you make these choices based on, like, your own conviction and not
Yeah.
just based on, like, something that someone else told you. And that's because that is more of the, like, satanic demonic way of, like, I want to see you make that choice yourself. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the fighting from Siri's perspective is like, are you telling me these things because you believe them, or because you're an angel and you're inherently on that side and you were
Right.
raised and told to believe that? And I think that's something
Mm-hmm.
that like Siri tries to break in Seraphina, is like, think about this. Is this something that you believe, or is it just something that you were told to believe? That
Yeah.
is where it gets really tense for her, I think. Yeah. Uh, I would love to see a scene where it's like they get into like one fight and it's like, okay, this is a particularly bad one and they have to like really take some time apart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then of course it's like, you know, one of them gets in over their head and the other one like steps in to save at the very last minute kind of thing. And I love a like almost like Deus Ex Machina from the love interest kind of story. Like
Mm-hmm.
that scene is so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
It's just it's so, because it's sad, because you know that the person who is saving is gonna get hurt and there's gonna be this beautiful like deathbed love confession kind of scene.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. It's my favorite. Oh my god. Yeah, that kind of story building is it's one of those things where it's like I can see the scenes playing out so vividly in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave this stream like making a playlist for my making a Spotify playlist specifically for these characters already.
I feel that. Yeah. They are
It's so
perfect together.
good.
They're
Yeah.
wonderful angel babies and demon babies.
Yeah, angel and demon baby. Yep. How, so I know I said like Siri's relationship with like how she got her job was like she was running from the bounty hunter,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up killing the bounty hunter, which is how she got her job. I think an interesting part of her backstory is I think she used to be human. And
Cool. Okay.
I think it's really rare that like true demons or true angels can be made from a former mortal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's one of them. I think she was like, she showed that, I mean, she killed a fucking demon.
Yeah.
So I think they were like, okay, well, you're also about to die. How about instead of like letting you die and go through the normal human process of, you know, going to hell or going to like whatever level you need to go, let's just
Mm-hmm.
give you a job. Let's transform you and turn you into this thing. So I feel like she actually caught like a soft spot from like Lucifer, from like the head honcho himself, because I feel like he's
Mm-hmm.
probably the only one who has that like ability to turn someone.
Awesome.
So
I love that.
yeah, I feel like she's got. So I was gonna make a comment. I feel like the people who may not like her that much or think that she's got some like maybe there are some like demon, even like other demons that don't like her that much. They think like, how did you, very, I keep bringing up Castleton, but it's very like how some demigods felt about like Katrina and Valdoris,
Mm-hmm.
of like how the hell did you get this position, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are some demons who like really call her like, you know, Lucifer's lapdog or something like that. Very much just
Mm-hmm.
like you, yeah. And meanwhile, she's like, if Lucifer steps out of line, I'll try and fight him too. I'll fight any bitch I want. Like that's she doesn't care.
I'll take him out. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, no one is safe.
Yeah.
Hands
I
are
think
rated E for
Seraphina.
everyone.
I think Seraphina is the opposite. Seraphina, I think, has always been an angel. She's a lower level seraphim, like one of those like daily angels that like you put a wing in your book and you think of your personal angel, right? The angel that all of those like
Yeah.
new age women go on about, right? And it's like,
Yep.
oh, my little angels. I think she's
Yep.
one of those. Like she was probably a guardian angel for a while. That was probably her training. But I feel like her story is that there was a glow up. Like she was like a dorky little like paperwork angel before that was like, if you try hard enough, you'll be able to succeed like everyone else. Like very like like at first. And then kind of saw what like Gabriel and Michael and like all of those fucking big names saw what they were doing, right?
Were doing, yeah.
Saw Lucifer get cast out for being too fabulous and was like, I could walk that line. I could be fabulous and still good. And I think that there is a job opening. And so she like worked really hard got her shit
Yeah.
together, and they kind of just did like one of these sort of like, you know,
Yep, yep,
at
yep,
like
yep.
at like the big boss, and the big boss is like, oh yeah, and she was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I love
and then like
that. I
after this
love
much
that.
time was just like, I'm fucking serious. Like,
Yeah.
because she was always like a paperwork angel, right? I think she
Hmm.
had a lot of time on her hands to watch how the archangels did their jobs and to
Yeah.
watch their hubris build up. And I think in
Yes.
that vacuum of the hubris, she was like, you know who can do this job better
Hmm.
than anyone else? This bitch. And then was like, boom,
Yes.
right? Like, here I am. Yes, I am hot. I am so hot that they would make a Ricky Lake episode about me where they were like famous glow ups, and then she's there, right? Where she's like coming through the door, like, it's me. But also kept the bookishness in the back of
Yeah.
her mind. Like, they're
Yeah.
very analytical, they're very clinical sometimes in their decision making.
Hmm.
And that's because she knows that these other like archangels are like rock stars. Like the way that they behave and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
they act like divas. And I
Yeah.
think for her, even though she looks fancy, she's not like above getting their hands dirty, basically.
Yeah. I love this. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I feel like yeah, very much like flipped. I feel like Siri is someone who is like, all I know is getting my hands dirty. Like
Mhm.
I I look like a rock star just because I look good. But
Mhm.
like being hot shit is not on my radar. I could look like Quasimodo and I would still be the best at my fucking job. And it's so much less about like all she knows is getting down in the trenches, is laying with dogs. And that's all she knows. And so she doesn't once she got like her status or her position, she still doesn't feel like she has a high ranking. She doesn't like mentally rank herself at all. I feel like demons have less of more like a hierarchy, like less of a ranking system, but there are still some that like there is privilege, there is thing, but their like ranking is more in less in status and less in name, because I feel like
Mhm.
there would be some archangels or some like the higher ups who are like, oh, I'm this badass because I did this thing in the Bible. Like, okay, what have you done since? That kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's less in name, whereas the demons are less in name and more in like, oh, I do this consistently. I am at this level, I am at this rank because I consistently, you know, find this sin, or maybe there is like some demons that have like their domain is like the different deadly sins or something. Um, but it's more like of a consistent, how often do you affect the world and affect like humanity and things? How strong are you in terms of like your power um, over time versus just like doing one big crazy act? Um, but I think like Siri is very much like, she feels like she's bottom tier. She's nowhere close to bottom tier, but she feels like she still is. She's got like a demon imposter syndrome happening for her. Like
Aw,
that's yeah. She's
sweet
like
baby.
yeah. Well, I mean that could be another like point of affection between them is Serafina really like builds up Siri's confidence and is like,
Mhm.
you need to understand how much sway you actually have. You're not just, they'll give you shit and call you like Lucifer's lapdog. You're not a lapdog. You're a fucking hellhound. Act like
That
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Serafina would definitely be part date mate, part life coach.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
I get that.
a
Yeah.
1000%.
Honestly, I get that. It helps her. I feel like that like empowers Siri a lot. Of like, she never realized. I don't think she realized that there was a power ranking system, like within the demons, and she still thought that she was like bottom tier. She just did what she was told. So she
Mhm.
always thought that she was like a goon, where it's like, no, Siri, like, there are other hellhounds in the world. There are other hellhounds
Mhm.
that exist. You tell them what to do. You're not among them in the ranks. Like, you can, like, lead the other hellhounds. You can lead the other demons. Like,
Right.
you've got sway. You just have to speak up. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be the, like, strong, silent muscle that is just going to kick someone's ass later. And I love
Well,
that.
like I can imagine the two of them like laying in bed, like as like either the sun comes up or like the sun like sets,
Yeah.
and like they're just like holding each other or whatever, and that being the conversation, right?
Oh.
Like that being like the discourse between them,
Yeah.
and being very sweet and like having these like very naked and vulnerable moments together. Like I feel like that's where
Yeah.
that would lie.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I fully agree. I think that's like, I just thought of something so cute. That I feel like hearing that for Siri, I can just imagine the scene of like Siri has no idea what to say to that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's throughout the relationship, she is definitely the more like confident one, but it completely flips when they're having these like very vulnerable, sweet moments. She is just like
Yeah.
panics, and she like doesn't know. She doesn't know how to be like sweet. She doesn't know how to be like
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable and soft. And so when she hears things like that from Seraphina, I love the idea of like she has no idea what to say, so she was just
Mm-hmm.
like, "I love you," but like that's the first time that she said it, and it just like it just like comes
Yeah.
out. Because then she says it and then immediately panics again. Like, she's like, look at the time. I gotta go. Bye.
You don't even have your shoes on.
Yeah, no. I'm pulling on a t-shirt. It's not my shirt. I'm like just running out the door.
I just gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Does not give Seraphina a single second to respond or to process.
Yeah.
Just leaves before she can hear anything back. I feel like Seraphina would absolutely have to corner her later and be like, "Hey, you left before I could say it back, dumbass."
Absolutely.
Yeah, just call her out on it. She needs that. She needs softness. She also needs someone to call her out when she's being stupid, because I feel like she's definitely stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't know how to be. She doesn't know how sweetness and softness works. Yeah. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love these two so much.
Yeah, they're super adorable. Like I already want art of them.
I know, me too. If Finn is still in the chat, I might commission you for art for these two later. Oh my gosh, yeah. Finn was one of the character artists on Castleton. He did all the pirate art. Ah, he's here.
Hell
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, if you
Beautiful.
saw like Luciano,
I love your work.
Yeah, his art
Yeah.
is my favorite. Now
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
every single project, every game, everything that I am like in or adjacent to, if I see someone looking for art, I'm like, might I recommend? And I just throw Finn at them. I'm like, do the art, do the characters. They're so good.
Yeah. The community efforts are a big deal for me. Yeah. If anybody says something that one of my friends is really good at, I'm immediately like, ask me about my friend.
Yeah,
I don't even hesitate.
I'm that way with Finn a lot. I'm just like, hey, you go, or like I was the one who like pushed for him to do the Castleton art. I reached out to AJ and I was like, hey, go message my friend. Go look at his art. It's really good. I want him to be in this. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, that's my like ride or die when it comes to like anything character related. I think I still have.
Yeah.
So I think I still have somewhere a sticker of like one of our OG characters that we made like from 5 years ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. So like the art style is wildly different, but I'm just like, oh, my babies.
Aww.
It's so good. Yeah. So now, Finn, I might have to commission you for some art of Siri and Seraphina because they're so cute. I would love to see like art of them in both forms, both as like
agree
the demon angel form and the see, now I'm like picturing it of like one piece of art, like two different prints that are like similar. One is Siri in her human form with the hellhound behind her. Yeah. And the other is like Seraphina in her human form with the angel behind her.
I love that.
Beautiful. I'm already thinking of ideas. I gotta look at my budget now. Finn, start brainstorming. Finn, I see you're still there. Oh, it's so good. They're so beautiful. It's they said bet. Yes! I win. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Oh, did you freeze? No, you didn't. You're good. Oh my gosh. My computer's being weird for some reason. Cool. This is so good. I'm trying to think of like how just there's so much that we could build up, but at the same time it's like we've built so much here. And I'm like, I don't even know what more to add. I'm just thinking of more scenes between them.
Beautiful.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's gorgeous.
Do we think
I love it.
that okay, I have a question now. Do we think that Seraphina and Ciri try to get out of their mafia lives and go do something else? Or do we think that both of them being together, they want to work together to like reform and bring together both families? Because it's like we both have similar goals. We just need to not hate each other. Like we just need to find the common ground in belief the way that we have individually. So do we think that they would push for trying to like come together and reform, or do we think that they'd be like, that's too dangerous and it won't work, so let's just leave?
I feel like that approach is probably how Ciri, like what Ciri goes to Seraphina with. I think in the back of Seraphina's mind, she's like, I'm never gonna be in charge. Like that power is never gonna be mine, right? There's always gonna be someone else in the seat ahead of me.
Yeah.
Especially because I think for Seraphina, like one of the things that you have that Ciri has to contend with is that people are like, oh, you're barely a demon, right? You were made a demon, you weren't born a demon, you don't know what our struggle is really like. Yeah. I think on Seraphina's side, it's sort of the inverse of that, right? Where it's like, we know you're an angel, but like you fucking punched above your fucking weight class, right? Like you are like street trash. Right? Yeah. You're like a paperwork angel, like a production designer angel, and not the creative director angel, and yet you are in a creative director angel position. And we don't know how you got here other than sleeping your way to the top. And she's very like, okay, yeah, I slept my way to the top. Who cares? I'm here doing the fuck out of my job. But she constantly feels like they have to earn their spot, right? They're very insecure in their spot. So I think at first they're probably very hesitant to make any kind of sudden movements. But at the same time, they hear what you're saying and they care about the cause, right? Because they're still an angel after all, right? This is more than a job; it's an identity. And I think when she starts to like finally hear Ciri talk about absolution, right, and reincarnation, that I think is when they're like, oh, wait a minute, like what you thought was real and what you thought was true is still correct, but is not absolute. Right? There has to be room for the gray. And like it's very, you know what it's like? It's like Jedi versus Sith, and how Sith are seen as being just evil, right? But like the reality is that anyone who's not a Jedi that's a Force user is kind of seen as a Sith in the eyes of the Jedi, right? Like if you're not one of them, then you're some other thing, and we don't like that. And they get freaked out and they want to like kind of stamp it out a little bit. And I think that that's kind of the zone that she originally comes from. And I think as she starts to realize that she's never going to have the power to create like real change in the world, she either starts thinking about switching sides or is like, why don't we just start our own thing? Can we start our own like middle ground thing? Can we start our own deal where we give back to the community, we give back to each other, where we combine the ideas, and then anyone else on either side is welcome to join our new thing.
Yeah, I love that. Hi, Sam. Sorry. I saw Sam in chat. Hi. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's beautiful. I love this idea. I love the idea too that like Ciri is the one coming to Seraphina with the idea of like, we can really like enact change. We can enact like we can use these positions that we have to talk to the people like in our ranks, talk to the people maybe above us. Like we can pull our sway, because that is a complete flip of what we were just talking about how Ciri thinks that she is just a lapdog. She doesn't realize like how much her rank is. So I feel like she like comes to Seraphina with this argument and then is like, the only reason I feel like I can do this, the only reason I am like I truly believe that we can do this is because you're the one who showed me how much like power and how much like sway and like what position I'm actually in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I am in that position, then maybe I can actually do something good with it. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, right now, my position is just hurting people or putting people in, or like taking people to this place that they're scared of. Like for her,
Mm-hmm.
even if she is taking people to hell to go to like the therapy levels, she is scary. She deals with people who are scared of her constantly. And if she
Yeah.
can figure out a way to find some like middle ground, maybe the idea of going to these like hell levels, even the therapy levels, like she can still be scary, but maybe she can just present herself as like more like a reaper, more
Mm-hmm.
like a grim reaper, like a gentle, like a dog that is going to like lead somebody
Mm-hmm.
out, you know? She doesn't
Yeah.
have to just be like a hunter. But she like comes to Seraphina. I feel like she comes to her like so excited and so like really optimistic, and it's so different from what you would immediately have seen of her, which was something that was a lot more just like, no, I'm just like a goon. I'm just like a muscle. You know, she like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna. What do you mean we can do change? Like, what do you mean we can change things? This is just how shit is.
Yeah.
So seeing that, like, I think also, in my opinion, I think that would kind of like rock Seraphina a little bit and like make her feel like, you know, proud of Siri, of like seeing, oh, I'm, you know, you see this like, you're believing the things that I'm trying to tell you, which is
Mm-hmm.
you are more powerful than you actually think you are.
I
Um,
can see though there being static there between them because
mm,
as wonderful as it is to see this like change in motion and to like witness this growth that Siri has, right? The same is more difficult for Serafina. Like Serafina,
yeah,
I think is like very logical and very kind of cut and dried in how
yeah,
she understands things. So I feel like as Siri tries to explain to Serafina like the way that she understands things, right? And you put in
yeah,
that altruism and you put in that like optimism, right? I feel like the more that you try to like pull her in that direction, she's like, this is unknown.
yeah.
This is unknown. This
This
is
is
unprecedented. This is
this
not
is not what I was trying to like. This is not what I was trying to instill in you when I was trying to
right.
empower you. So it's like, oh
Right.
look, the consequences of my own actions.
Exactly. She
It's
did it to herself, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I
very much.
think that's very much I think a character trait for her is I did this to myself, right? Like the
Mm,
abuse that she takes from the other angels, she did that to herself. Like
yeah,
the fact that the boss like doesn't really take her, the boss takes her seriously enough to put her where she is, but not seriously enough to necessarily have her in every meeting, right? Like
yeah,
that kind of thing. Like it's something that she kind of did to herself, and like granted it was under the understanding that there were few options available to her.
yeah,
Like they didn't want to stay a low level angel for forever. They weren't
yeah,
really doing the most good that they could do at that level, and they weren't helping as many people as they could help. I think when she looks at what Siri does, she sees what you and your people do as actually like eventually she sees it as like I think that's the moment it clicks is when she realizes how many more people you
yeah,
can help because of the rehabilitation
yeah,
versus how many people that she condemns even when their life has been like 45% bad and 55% good, right?
yeah,
And how there's like no gray area there.
yeah, yeah. Especially
I
like
feel like that's a
if
major challenge for them.
yeah, I love the idea of also seeing like seeing the growth in Siri almost like not regresses but almost brings like seeing how like strong Siri is getting in her like conviction and in her passion of like the things
Hmm.
that we can do to do real good is kind of almost like bringing out like the fear in Seraphina of like doing this change because change is scary,
Hmm.
but realizing like change ultimately is going to result in the level of good that you want to do. You can't do
Right.
like the level of good that people want to do is not going to come in like yes, it can come in these like little individual acts, like random acts of kindness, seeing like people be altruistic or be like good in little ways, but like true radical change is going to come with making true radical moves.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately once you are faced with the idea of making those radical moves, it's scary, and it like you almost revert to being like, no, but I want to stay in the status quo. Like I want to stay in this position that I'm in.
Yeah.
Even though I'm seeing that doing the same thing over and over again is not resulting in the good that I want to happen.
Definitely. And I think for Seraphina, like, that's so, like, integral to, I think, her story arc. Yeah. Because, like, the way she got her job was by questioning the status quo. So why now is this the hang up, right?
I think, I mean, part of it could also be, like, maybe, like, Seraphina knows something that Ciri doesn't. Maybe Seraphina has heard either on purpose in front of her or, like, overheard behind her back more of the other angels, like, more of the higher-ups on the angel side talking about the demons are getting more bold. The demons are getting more, like, reckless. Let's go. I pick up. But, like, I think the angels are wanting to start some shit. I think the angels are starting to want to, which means that if Ciri enacts these, like, changes, if Ciri really starts to act on these, like, new beliefs and this new, like, conviction that she has, that puts Ciri directly in the line of danger.
Right.
And so I think more so, like, Seraphina's like, let's just go, because it's like, I just want to protect. It turns into Seraphina almost, like, adopts the belief of, I just want to protect my own.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
the demon.
The demonic belief, yeah. It's really interesting that this is, like, turning into, like Ciri truly representing the real belief that the angels supposedly have, whereas Seraphina is starting to truly represent the belief that the demons say that they have. So I love this, like, almost yin-yang situation that is going on between these two sides.
So perfect.
Which is where we're going to find the balance in the first place. Yeah, I love the idea of, like, because Seraphina's starting to realize, like, how much sway she has and how much, like, importance she has, she behind the scenes has been, like, talking to the other hellhounds, talking to the other, you know, the other, like, bounty hunters or the other, like, people in her ranks to say, like, hey, if you see an angel who's, like, you know, fucking with your target or who is trying to, like, condemn them when really they just need to go to, like, one of the, like, therapy levels or whatever, fuck them up. Like, that's, go, like, I feel like there used to be, in that tension, it used to be, like, mostly, like, arguments, but I feel like Seraphina's gonna start some, like, she's gonna get into a fight with an angel,
right.
She's gonna get into a real, like, smackdown with someone, and because of that, it's gonna start causing some, like, the tensions are rising, and now it's gonna turn into, this could potentially be an all-out war if the demons don't, like, get back in line, or get back into, like, their particular jobs, or their
stay in their lane.
Yeah, stay in their lane, and Ciri doesn't want to. So it's like, all I've known is getting my hands dirty, and if I have to do that to, like, in a radical way, I fucking will. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. Oh my god, I need to see this as, like, I need to see this as, like, a fully fledged show, a comic, a something. Like, I need this now. There's so much cool, like, story, because I feel like that scene where it does, like, come to a head, where Ciri comes to Seraphina of, like, hey, what if we, like, actually worked together? And I feel like when Ciri comes to Seraphina, I think what she does is she says, I think we should tell everybody about our relationship. I think that's gonna be, like, that's the thing that Ciri wants to do. She wants to, like, just come out with it.
We can tell them we can coexist. We're already doing it.
Yeah, like,
Seraphina's like, I don't want anyone in my business.
Yeah. But it is very much like, I need to protect my girlfriend because she's about to do something really fucking stupid and put both of us in danger. Whereas Ciri is like, okay, but the thing that we're doing could ultimately result in good for everybody.
Mhm.
We can protect our own. Like, we have the power to protect ourselves.
Yeah. We have the technology.
We have technology. That's that scene with Patrick is so perfectly Siri of like, we have technology, smashes it to bits. That's, that's fully Siri. We can be smarter about this. Punches someone like that's. I love it so much. Oh, they're so good.
They're
Oh god,
wonderful.
they really are. I feel like that also could be like the thing that results in like the big fight between the two
Mhm.
that eventually is going to like Siri's gonna do some dumb shit. She's gonna fuck around with the wrong angels one day. Like she is going to throat punch someone that she shouldn't. That's she's gonna be the one to get hurt. Um, I've I feel like that could lead to it. Like if she during that fight, like with Serafina, I feel like
Mhm.
walking away that makes her more reckless. That makes her more like she has less of a self preservation mindset because she's like, all right, well, my girlfriend's mad at me or she hates me now because of this, fight that we had. I'm gonna go keep doing the thing that I want to do. I'm gonna go keep fighting for what I want to fight for. I'm just kind of gonna do it with a little less self protection this time. Like she just is like sad and doesn't really give a fuck if she gets her head kicked in, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh, beautiful. It's so good.
I like the idea too of like each of them having an NPC that's like their confidant. Because I feel like there's
That
no way that both of us are just operating in secret. I feel like
no.
Serafina has to have like a low level angel that's like that's been their best friend. They came up together. They were like made on
Yeah.
the same day kind of thing.
Oh,
And
cute.
like and I feel like they're just like, girl, get your shit together. Do you have any
Yeah.
idea? I had to cover for you 3 times last week. Do you have any idea how hard that was? What are you going to give me? What are you?
Yeah.
Do you have courtside seats to the fucking Nets? Like, what do you got? Like, what's good? Do
I
you have
love the
tickets to
girl.
Madison Square Garden? Like, what
Yeah.
do you have to bribe me with? Because
Yeah.
I'm sick of your garbage.
Like
You
I
know?
need I need Hamilton tickets now. Like that's I need to go do something. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
Yeah. You got
good.
to pay me back.
I feel like Siri's bestie is a human. I feel like Siri's bestie
Aw.
is yeah.
I
I feel
love
like
that.
maybe is hmm. I think okay, so if we're operating on the idea that like angels and demons are immortal, right?
Hmm.
I like the idea of Siri ended up dying in like the 80s or something. I think she died
Hmm.
like a couple decades ago. So now I think the person that is like her human bestie is like the child of like her one of her best friends like back
Hmm.
when she was alive. And she somehow like ran into them. Maybe this person like saw like an old photo of like her with her mom or something like that, and was just like, "Hey, you look just like the person in this picture." And Siri's just like, "Oh, shit! Oh no!" Like,
Or
I
is it
forgot
like
that.
a Captain Marvel thing where maybe she's met you once before, like as a
Oh,
kid, and then sees you again and is like,
yeah, yeah.
you
Like,
can't be the lady that like I know, but yet here you are.
what if she died like overall she was just kind of a shitty person like in her life, but it was more like
Mhm.
she was going to end up going to one of the therapy levels,
Mhm.
um but she died doing something very like protective and altruistic. Like the bounty hunter was after her and was about to cause like something really bad that was going
Mhm.
to kill like with the goal in mind of killing Siri, but ended up
Mhm.
like it was gonna result in multiple casualties.
Yeah,
And
and gave
so
up her life to save them.
yeah, so she died to save like this
Beautiful.
kid. Very, very what am I thinking of? Oh, like in like Across the Spider Verse, where it's like, oh, it's a canon
Mhm.
event that the police chief
Yeah.
dies saving a kid. Yeah,
Mhm.
she died saving a child. Like she died saving someone's, and so like this kid,
Maybe
like
that's how she gets offered the job. Maybe that's the difference because I'm sure
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
I'm sure that like the fact that you were tough enough to kill a bounty hunter is like the fact that Siri was tough enough to do that does matter, and I'm sure
Yeah,
that would have turned people's heads. But I wonder if like what makes you trustworthy
yeah.
is that you were able to both sacrifice yourself and save other people.
Yeah.
Like
I
that
think
was
it
your
was very
perspective.
much a, like, she pushed the kid out of the way, grabbing, like, the bounty hunter and is like, oh no, you're coming down in this with me. Like, like, you know, I don't know what I'm thinking, like, a building collapse at a construction site or something crazy. Like, where
Mhm.
she's like, get this one person, this, like, innocent out of the way, but is able to like grab the bounty hunter and is like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. And yeah, that immediate like the altruism, that immediately like self-sacrificing, like I know I'm going down. I'm going to do this in a way to make sure like the kid gets to grow up and have the ending that they deserve, like the ending that
Mhm.
this child is fated or needs to have.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm also smart and strong enough to bring down the dumb motherfucker who almost killed a child with me.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And I love the idea of like the bounty hunter who killed her probably was someone who like always worked in like really shady or really like bad, used like really bad tactics and
Mhm.
like didn't really give a shit about like how they took out a human if that's what they were going after.
Mhm.
Didn't really care about um, like didn't really care about casualties or like anyone else. It was just as long as I get this job done. Um,
Mhm.
so I think when Siri dies, I think she went like full Karen. Went to like wherever like help desk or wherever she was supposed to go to be like, no, 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 I want to talk to the fucking manager about this because what the fuck was that? Like that
I
was
have
not
complaints.
okay.
A
Yeah,
child could
yeah,
have died.
yeah.
You let me know who's in charge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like is berating in the afterlife is still berating the bounty hunter that they killed. And
Mhm.
is just like because they're still in the afterlife, they're just not in the material world anymore.
Right.
And it's like, do
Yeah.
your fucking job correctly. Like,
If
is
you can't do it, I'll do it. Why don't you send
yeah,
me out there in the field? And they're like, get this person out of here.
yeah. Oh my god, no, that happens. She's like, if you can't do your fucking job, I'll do it. I bet I can do a better job than
Yeah.
you. And she's like, someone make me this person. Like, someone give me this person's
Mhm.
job. Everyone's like, can she go? Can we get her away? Like, someone call security here. But
Yeah.
then, like, Lucifer himself was the one who saw the collapse and saw this, and
Mhm.
already was like, you can't get your bounties with this many casualties. Is already also pissed off at the bounty hunter,
Yeah.
and is like, you know what? I agree. I think she could do your job better than you. So
Mhm.
go. Like, demotes the other bounty hunter, promotes her, and it says basically is like, I'm gonna turn you into like gives her the whole like rundown of like, here's what's gonna happen. You're not gonna be a human anymore. You're gonna look like one. You can we're gonna treat it like a reincarnation, but you're not a
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
I love that. And then yeah, I think like coming back, into the human world and living as like Siri is now, sees someone who looks kind of similar, has grown up or like as an adult and is like, you look way too familiar. And Siri panics because she doesn't know how to social interaction. Um,
Mhm.
but I think is like one almost immediately told this person the truth and like explained everything.
Mhm.
Um, had to go back to hell to get a talking to and had to like make a case for being like, it's not my fault that they recognized me. It's not my
Yeah.
fault that they like knew who I was. You sent me back 20 years later, so I met this like 30-year-old who knew me, like who saw me
Mhm.
back then. um and like had to make the case of like, it's fine if they know who I am, just don't reveal y'all's selves to them. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a big thing. So it's almost like this person just immediately gets protection from the demons because they're important to me.
Hmm.
Feel like I've probably gotten into a couple of fights because someone didn't like protect this human, and it's like, no, this human you save, this human you protect. You
Oh,
save
I
this
love
baby
that.
right here. Yeah.
It would be so cute if they had like a charmed life. So like if like
Yes.
all these little coincidences happen to them, and
Mhm.
like, oh, maybe that's like a nice point of contention too. Like if they
Ooh.
have if the person I don't
Yes.
know if it needs to be this close, but it would be really cute if their like personal angel was my friend. And so my friend is constantly trying to like do their job and like show up, but they're never needed because there's like a charm on this person. So like
Yeah.
everything they're trying
Yeah.
to protect them from, it automatically happens. And
I
that's why
love.
my friend has so much time to like watch my back. Is
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
their
I love
person's
it.
already taken care of.
I feel like there is one moment, like maybe after your friend hears like the first time about you like meeting this person and like being like, oh, I had this drink with this girl and she's really pretty. She's also a hellhound. Oh no. Like after that first like needing to talk about your panicked feelings to your friend has to go and like do something to help the human, but then sees this like hellhound chick hanging out with her. And it's
I
just
love
like,
that.
oh, so you're the one. Interesting. And like looks over.
It's you.
Yeah. Goes so like the next time like you hang out with this friend, the friend is just like, hey, I met your girlfriend. I love
Yes,
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I feel like
this teeny tiny network of people who know.
yeah, I feel like this
Hmm.
it starts out as like there's almost a weird like custody battle between like, no, I'm their guardian angel. Well, it's like, well, now I'm their guardian demon, so
Fine, we will work together.
yeah. But that
Oh,
again,
it's a
that's
literal angel and demon on your shoulder. That's
no,
so
that's
cute.
literally what it is. That's
That's
so
really cute.
cute.
I love that.
That's so
Meanwhile, your
perfect.
friend is like, "Can everyone just leave me alone? I'm a
Yeah,
fucking
my,
adult."
my friend looks at me and is just like, "What the fuck is happening? What did you get me into?" And
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Sorry." Hey man, we're you got the job you wanted, you got the winning lotto ticket, you got the whatever. Like it's, but it's there is absolutely moments where it's like the friend is like, I don't know what to do, and then both me and your friend are sitting there arguing with each other about like, no,
Yep.
she should do this, no, she should do that. Meanwhile, you're standing by watching with like hands a bag of popcorn to my friend, and both of y'all are watching this happen.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I love
Don't
that
get.
so
It's better to
much.
not get involved.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me, I tried. It's not gonna work. Oh, that's so good. Okay, what would you name your friend then?
Hmm. I wonder if my friend is. Let's see. What's a righteous kind of name?
Mm.
Sword of God.
Ooh.
Because I feel like their name needs to be like really big and fancy, even though they're
Yeah.
like I envision my person being like a cute like trans mask, non-binary person,
Yes.
who
Adorable.
uses like they he pronouns, and has
Yes.
a lot
Good.
to say about the world.
I was gonna say I want my friend to be trans. Now I want to see my friend as like a trans woman.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. I love this.
All right, let's see. Hmm. They're like, "Do you mean word of God?" I'm like, "No, I said what I said."
Yeah.
Uh,
Did I stutter?
uh, hmm. Let's see. God's righteousness. Okay,
No,
so I
okay.
think their first name is Paul,
Cool. I love it.
because Paul is God's righteousness, the Lord our righteousness.
Siri calls
Um,
them Polly, and they hate
yep,
it.
yep,
Yeah.
perfect. I think last name. I feel like all the angels have like extra biblical names, so maybe Paul
Mm.
Yeshua is his
Yes.
name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. Oh
Hmm.
my god. So now I'm trying to think like, okay, what what could my girl's like what could my friend's name be? I honestly think it's just something kind of like neutral that is not related to either heaven and hell. So I want it to be like something like Luna or something where it's like
Hmm.
it's not at all like at first I was like, okay, what's one that's like protected? But a lot of those names are like protected by God, and I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
but she's protected by everything. So I would say Luna. I think is really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, because it like, but like I love this idea of like in another perspective in another story, Luna would be the main character because it's like,
Hmm.
oh, you've got the one human that's surrounded by these celestials who are just having
Yep.
like custody fights over you. Like that's
Hmm.
like that's just silly. But the story is actually between these two, this like angel and demon who just also happen to have this human that one of them adopted. Like that's yeah. I think her name is Luna, and I love the idea of I love the idea of it like starting out with when Luna sees Siri like again like the second time
Hmm.
and is now an adult, recognizes her, and Siri's just like, you how did you know me? But I feel like Siri sees them and can I help
Hmm.
you? No, not actual Siri. Shut up. I forgot I have an iPhone. I'm surprised I've said the name 8 billion times and that's the first time that that happened.
I feel like that's
That's
the perfect
hilarious.
name for somebody who's in hiding too, because like if people are talking
Mm,
to you or about you, you don't have to worry about them like knowing exactly who you are. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Yeah,
you
yeah,
can just
yeah.
write it off as,
Yep.
oh, they're just talking to
Oh,
it's the internet.
interesting headcanon idea. I think that Siri was not her name before.
Mhm.
I think that she doesn't remember what her human name was.
Ooh,
I think it
I
was
love
kind of
that.
scrubbed. Like I think when she became the demon, she became like her hellhound self. I think they were like, we're gonna give you a new name. You're not gonna remember your old name. You can remember like you're not gonna remember a lot of your old life, but I feel like she has like she'll sometimes get like tidbits if she like sees something or someone that
Mhm.
reminds her of a thing, but she doesn't have like full memory of what her previous life was.
Have you seen Agatha All Along?
No, but I know enough about it because I had a friend who like would scream about it to me because he loved it. So
It's a very cute show. There's a
yeah.
mechanic in that show, like a plot device in that show that they use to kind of keep secrets. And I don't
Oh.
want to say like too much about it because it doesn't really matter anyway. And if you ever decide that you want to watch it, I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
But what I can say is, so there is a young man that she comes across, that Agatha comes across. It's the very first episode, so not a spoiler. Um, and whenever he says his name to her, his mouth gets like scrambled, like the words get scrambled, like in his mouth. Like
Oh.
he's specifically saying what his name is to her, but like his mouth kind of.
This is not. I think this is like the third stream that this has happened to me at. Oh, are we back?
Mhm.
Are we back? I think we're back. Everybody?
I do see the time ticking. Let's see.
I'm just gonna throw that in chat. Please refresh your page. Tell me if we're back. Oh god. I can hear you, but the screen looks frozen. Well, shoot. Hmm.
Oh wait, no, we're good. I think we're
Oh, we're
good
good.
now.
We're good. Okay.
I can see. Yeah. Um.
Good, good, good. Okay.
So your name
Yes.
when your friend uses when Luna uses your name, like when I imagine that she
Oh.
probably uses like your chosen name, but I feel like
Yeah.
the first time you see Luna in person, like that's what happens. Like she says, "Are you?" and then says your
Oh.
name, and like you
Yeah.
know what she's talking about because you know that you have this other life, but you can't like understand, like you can't hear
Yeah.
it.
Interesting. Yeah. And so I think like yeah, I think like when I hear that or when I see that and I'm like, am I who exactly? And like is
Hmm.
trying to play it off both as like oh, I'm gonna pretend like I did hear you and I'm just confused, but also like I'm
Hmm.
genuinely confused because I didn't hear you.
Right.
So I'm just like, uh, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
Totally chill, totally normal. Nothing to see
Yeah,
here.
everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Why are you looking at
Um,
me like that?
yeah, but then introduces herself of like, no, I'm not, whatever name you just said, and I'm not saying that because I didn't hear you, but I'm actually like, my name is Sirius, like that kind of thing of just like, no, I'm this person instead, and gives like the new name.
Hmm.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. I love it, and I love the idea of like, I love the idea of Siri like not wasting any time actually telling her the truth. Um, but then like she was probably with like Luna was probably with Siri when they went to like the queer night,
Hmm.
and I think like Siri is the one who was like, Luna, look, that's the one I told you about. That's the girl. Like that's it's literally is like
Over
anything
there.
happens. Yeah,
Don't make me
exactly.
point.
Yeah. Anything happens and like Luna is the first person to hear about it. Like there's
Hmm.
once it all comes out into the open, it's very much like Siri does have very like puppy energy of like
Hmm.
I'm here and now you're in my life and now I love you. But that means it's like I'm gonna come to you for everything now. Like that's kind of
Right.
the energy that's happening here. So very much, I feel like Luna was the one who was like, "Why are you telling me that she's here? Just go and like buy her a drink," and like physically pushes her to go and
Yeah.
is Seraphina, and it works. I love them. Oh my god, I love the idea of like if the angels and demons are if the angels are like starting to get pissed off too, if the angels are like um we've been getting a lot more fights from the demons, or like things have started to get more tense among like even the lower levels.
Hmm.
um Ooh, I love the idea of Seraphina. uh, i I love the idea of Seraphina like actually going directly to Luna instead of going to
Mm.
like Siri to be like, hey, you should probably tell your girl this. Like going immediately to Luna and be like, look, okay, this is serious shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like not even skipping the guardian angel, your friend skipping my friend, going immediately to her and be like, you need to get out of here. Like,
Yeah. Here's the deal.
yeah, you need to go
Hmm.
to literally anywhere else. The tensions between the
Yeah.
angels and demons are still annoying but less dangerous in other areas. Just don't be
Hmm.
here.
That's so funny. That's like so classic mob movie. Like the city is a powder keg. You gotta get out of here. And then
Yeah.
you like try to like save the
Yeah.
one person that's like really good that doesn't deserve this. That's above
Yeah.
all of this.
That's the
Right?
true
Yeah.
good. Like that's the person
Hmm.
that needs to survive this story because they weren't
Yeah.
a part of this before. Yeah.
Good
Oh, it's
trope.
so cute. I love that.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And then oh, hear me out though. What if Luna does listen? Like, because in that trope, a lot of the times it's like, why are you telling me this? Like, no, I want to stay and help.
Hmm.
No, this time Luna's just like, cool, peace, and like leaves.
Bye. Yeah.
But like didn't tell Siri or what did you? Oh, Paul didn't tell Siri or
Hmm.
Paul, and so then both Siri and Paul are panicking because they're like, "Where is our human? Like, where's our person?"
Hmm.
And like,
Seraphina's like, she's fine.
yeah, oh, like doesn't tell them. I think for like Luna's protection too is like when you leave, don't even tell me where you're going. Don't tell anyone
Hmm.
where you're going. Just
Hmm.
go. And
Yep.
so
If you need
as
me,
soon
this is
as
how you can find me. Hmm.
yes, and like as soon I feel like because the angel like families, because there's different factions, once a human like leaves that geographical like location of
Hmm.
protection, it's a lot harder for your like assigned guardian angel to find you,
Yeah.
unless Luna specifically prays for Paul to come and
Right.
help. Neither of them can find her,
Yeah.
and because they're not
I
in that like
that's a
jurisdiction
really
anymore, basically.
clever. Yeah, that's a very clever failsafe though, because she can
Yeah,
choose when to be found, like when she really truly needs
yeah.
someone. And I feel like in this universe, the moment that someone's name is on your lips and you feel like
Mm-hmm.
the faith that you have in that in your heart, that they can, it's like a beacon lights up.
Yeah, Yeah.
So like I feel like that would be like if this
Mhm.
were a comic, it would be really cool to like have a scene where like suddenly like the Avengers like assemble, but it's like the
Yeah.
four of us.
Yeah.
Or the
But
three of us
I
rather
love,
like
really interesting though. I think it'd be cool to be like, okay, well, Luna says Paul's name, and because Paul is the heavenly assigned guardian angel, obviously, like that's how that works. But something
mhm.
that you don't expect is Luna also says Sirius's name, and
Mhm.
Sirius also gets a beacon. And even though there wasn't any like assigned official like paperwork saying, "Oh, I'm this person's guardian hellhound," it's much
Mhm.
more, I have this personal like love and connection, and this person is personally protective over me. And
Yeah.
because we've built that connection, I have the same like beacon that like
Mhm.
Paul would. And that's something like I feel like I feel like because Paul and Siri are very much just like very like brother-in-law sister-in-law energy of just
Mhm.
like I'm gonna act like I hate you but we get along because we both love Serafina.
Yeah.
But there is a moment where Paul is like, how the hell did you get that? Like, you weren't supposed to. There's no protocol for demons to having that kind of thing. And
Well, that's your ending, right? Or at least that's your halfway point. Because that's your
yeah.
proof of concept to the other two groups that we can work together
Yes.
because you get the same beacon as the guardian angel. So that's how
Yeah.
you get that
Yeah.
like nice synergy of trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
convince people, and that's like the die that you cast to see
Yes.
if
Yeah. Yeah.
people want to come and make a new thing
Yeah. I
or
feel
work
like that would
together.
be the like if this was a if this was like a stage play. I feel like that's like act 1 ending. This is the moment of
Mhm.
like if this were like a two-part movie or whatever. This is the part where it's like the first one ends and you're like, "Oh, this is
Oh shit. This is
yeah,
where we're going?
like
Yeah.
like one, you see really how important and how high stakes things are, but you also see like
Mhm.
this is the moment of like hope. This is the moment of like Siri looks at Serafina and just goes,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, yeah, oh that's beautiful. That's so good.
Excellent. Love it.
That's so fun. I love that idea. I love this. The story is just good. I just want to see more of it.
Mhm.
I just need to turn this
Mhm.
into a thing. I do love a lot of the times like in this in the stream the point for me is I love doing like character creation and like the world building itself, but we're just
Mhm.
creating the whole plot. We're just storyboarding at this point. Like
Yeah.
let's just write the story.
We've
Hey
got it.
man, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it just where do I get to see, hear, and watch more of the story? I will gladly jump on a video call with Candace anytime so that we can continue to storyboard and info dump this
Flesh it
story.
out.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really good.
I'm loving this concept so far, and the like we've got a whole first act now. Like that's
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's good. I will say we are kind of at the 2 hour mark ish right here, and I feel
Perfect.
like we've got like
Yeah.
a lot built up here. Like this is really
Absolutely.
cool. So
We did work today.
yeah, I think we did. I think we like put the
Yeah.
real work in. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and just give our little, I guess, recap here. I always try
Mhm.
and do like the in a world kind of thing, like how do I sum all this up? But it's just one of these days I'm gonna figure out how to be more eloquent with how I do it. Now I'm just like I just want to get feral and excited and talk about things. So, but yeah. So what we've created here is the Angel and Demon Mafias, set in what do we say? We said New York, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, set in New York City, where the angels and demons in the world kind of act as if they were like mob bosses, both providing protections and providing whatever resources and their own special circumstances that they can give to the humans. Um, within the factions of this, I would say like it's just like the state of New York, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like I feel like in America specifically, the factions are separated by states.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agree.
that makes the most sense. Um,
Mhm.
but within New York, within the two higher up families that run the angel and demon factions in this state, you've got our chief of staff on the angels side, Miss Serafina, and the muscle bounty hunter Siri, who one day meet and they see each other from across the dark smoky bar. And then they kiss. But then
so much.
It's my favorite way to describe it is like just and then they kiss. And that's it. That's the story. That's
it. What else do you need, really?
Yeah, truly. Well, apparently we need a lot of rising tensions between both the angels and the demons. We need the threat of a true war going on between the New York Angels and the New York Demons. And all of this being told through the sneaky double agent actions of this beautiful Sapphic couple that are they just try and protect each other.
Yes.
And with these like clashing philosophies and trying to really find the common ground, which is where the tension begins, because finding the common ground between these two is going to be, or between both sides is going to be very difficult.
Yes, it is.
And all of it does come to a head when Siri's human best friend gets in danger and ends up leaving the jurisdiction, but she is able to pray to both her own guardian angel, Paul, and Siri herself, and see the same beacon, which should technically not happen. And we'll see where the story goes from there. I'm so obsessed with this. It's so good.
Same.
Thank you so much for like coming onto my channel and doing this stream with me, because like we created some really cool shit here today.
Hell yeah, my pleasure. Honestly, thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is so much fun.
Well, you're welcome back anytime, for sure. Where can people find you on the internet here, Candace?
Y'all can find me at the Candace Marie on Twitter and Blue Sky, at CandaceTheMagnificent everywhere else. I'm a TTRPG performer, voice actor, casting director, sensitivity consultant, writer, and a bunch of other shit. I am going to have a casting call out, so if anybody watching this is a voice actor, please keep my socials. I'm going to be announcing something on Monday, a new video game that I'm working on with some folks. You can hear me in Three Black Halflings' new AP, Herald of Shadows, which is a City of the Black Rose season 2 podcast. You can also hear me in Bloom and Blight, which is a Dareful Archives Girl by Moonlight podcast. So if you like magical girl stuff, come on over. And you can also, there's a bunch more stuff that I'm doing. Oh, every Tuesday, you can see me over on Chaotic Wholesome. I am the interim co-host for the Table Talk show while my friend David is on Mend. There's a bunch of other stuff that I do, so if you want to know about it, please check my stuff.
Incredible. That is,
thank you.
I'm overwhelmed and so excited, because I'm like, there's so much space that I can get more Candace content. I love it.
Thank you.
It's all I
There's
want,
arguably too much.
There's never enough Candace content. And I did see that there was a lot of like first time chatters here with me. For those of you who are still here and who are first time viewers, I do this every Sunday. I have a new guest every week. We build new worlds, we build new stories. It's a new theme and a new tone. One of these days I want to get like a carnival spinny wheel or something like that instead of like drawing slips of paper, but we'll see. And I'll go ahead and announce this too. I'm going to start a second stream of the week if you want to see more of my face. I'm going to be streaming Tuesday evenings as well, and that's going to be much more chill. It's going to be like just chatting. You'll maybe see me do some crafting or do some writing, whatever. Maybe one day we can have a storyboarding stream where you come and hang out with me and we write more for Siri and Seraphina on one of those. That would be so much fun. All right.
Hell yeah.
And with that, let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and raid out to somebody. Who is live? What's happening? Let's see. Who do we want to raid out to? Do you know who? Do you want to pick somebody we can raid to?
Let's see. So I'm like so basic.
Yeah.
I really love Turtles and Chill.
Turtles and Chill?
Yeah, it's an aquarium stream.
What?
It's literally Turtles and Chill all in one.
That is so cool.
There's just turtles hanging out to lo-fi music, and it's really cute.
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna go raid out to Turtles and Chill. I'm gonna go follow them. That's great. I love that so much.
Yeah, right. The energy is great.
Cool.
Great vibes.
That's good vibes. I love that for the end of the night. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you to everybody who came and hung out with us today and listened to this story. And thanks again, Candace, for being a part of this.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's see if I know how to read.
I never do. So
I've done this enough times you think that I would like actually, know how to do it, but
same, but every single time fucked up.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.